Okay. Yeah.
Love your nails. Look at that.
They're my
My
mysterious
God, they
nails for
fit
the show we
you.
went to. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. This one's kind of beat up, but
Oh, that's all right.
anyway. Okay. Hello, everyone. Lori here, and I'm here with Taco again and Chelsea, and we're so excited to do another live stream of our How Do You Spirit podcast. And today we wanted to talk about a little bit about my trip. I recently went to England and had the opportunity to visit Stonehenge, which was on the bucket list. And it was such an amazing experience. I recently did a video on my platforms. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But it was such an amazing spiritual experience. And I am one that really feels energy. And it was the most peaceful and calming energy that I really honestly have ever felt.
Oh, I can imagine.
Honestly. And just being up close and personal to all those massive stones and the history behind all of it, and how in the hell did they even do that 2,000 years ago, BC. It was a very amazing experience. And they also, interesting enough, some of the colonies and stuff that helped bring the stones over and all those things, they actually had, you would look over the rolling hills and they had graves. There would
No
be like
kidding.
these hills, and they were the graves of people over the years, and they would bury them on the ground. So
Wow.
super cool. And I think, in my mind, I think Stonehenge was used for time, you know establishing time and calendar, and also for spiritual purposes. So that's kind of what I got out of it. And I would love to go back there again someday, but you have to go into the inner circle to really experience it. Because when you're just driving by, yeah, you see these big rocks and stones off the side, but being inside of it and being able to feel the energy that's in there was incredible.
Did you feel like a energy gravity like kind of pull?
Not even a pool, almost like very light and airy, I guess, energy, very calm, almost like you weren't walking on the ground, but you were,
Right.
if that makes sense. And we took our shoes and socks off, myself and my sister-in-law, because we wanted to ground while we were there. But it was just very light, happy energy. It's hard to explain, honestly.
So how did the rest of the day go after you had left? Did you feel like it did good?
Amazing. I felt amazing.
But so did you feel re-energized or did you feel
Yes.
like still
Yes.
out of body a bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the word, out of body.
Yep.
That's the perfect definition of that, because I felt very light out of body, and that's what the light, I guess, would
I
mean.
think
But
a lot of these historical markers, especially places like Stonehenge
uh-huh.
and the pyramids and um, the Mayan ruins and things like that, they a lot of times, especially if you're paying attention, you
Uh-huh.
get kind of like a spiritual download.
Yes.
And that can either a rejuvenate you,
Yes.
right? Or it can be feel very enlightening but very heavy.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like when you do a reading, right? There's
Yes.
sometimes when you're doing a reading, especially just like a typical reading where you're not really connecting with people's loved ones and kind of connecting into the grief. You're more
Uh-huh.
connecting in with just kind of where they're going, what they're doing, how they're doing it,
Yeah.
and the best way to go. You're kind of lighter, but when you're trying to help someone identify and heal their soul or heal a wound that has been caused, like if they're in an abusive relationship or
Right.
they've just lost someone very close to them, that is a heavy
Yeah,
energy.
it is.
But
Yes.
then you also have, and I always explain to people when I do a bunch of readings, you get out of body. It takes about a half hour for you to kind of go back in. I remember when I had done my first fair, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, I had done readings all day. We didn't even get done with the park had closed at 11. I was there till 2.
Oh,
We had such a line. And by the time I got done, I mean, you have like a psychic headache, but you feel so out of body, like things will hurt you, but like it doesn't register.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was driving home, this is when I learned not to do that shit. I was driving home and the semi was coming onto the freeway and I was like, oh, I'll just go into underneath it. It's fine. I'll be fine. It's like, you don't realize it'll hurt you when you're like out of body. You're just like, who gives a shit?
You're spiritually drunk.
You are. It is like having that really fun, like drunk buzz, but not like white trash drunk.
Right.
And so, yeah. But so after you kind of let yourself settle down and the whole kind of spiritual buzz got calmed down and you got a little more embodied, how long do you think that took you?
I would say the whole bus ride back, honestly.
And that was about how long?
It was 2 hours
to
get back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like that it was that long because by the time we got back, I was feeling a little normal again.
Right. Sometimes, so like when I do parties and stuff, I have a hard time, like they'll, have food and all of that out there, and I won't eat until I'm done because it does ground you. And so, you're trying to do a reading, come up here, but you're grounded, and it's like, so it makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see where you would have to like ground yourself and get back in body.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was the biggest kind of notice after you had visited there? Did you feel like it was more about getting back in body, or was it dreams, or what did you feel?
So I felt that, well, it was, like I said, I already said this, it was an incredible spiritual experience.
Yeah.
And this might sound weird, but
well, that's what we are. We're weird.
Right?
We own it. It's fine.
It kind of made me feel like the whole spiritual thing and what I'm doing, that I was on my right path. It was kind of almost like a validation for
Amen.
me.
Yes.
Yep. I felt way more connected.
Yes.
Way more connected.
Way more confident, sure of yourself.
Yes. And so it made me even believe it more, what I already believe in.
Right.
Like validation.
Isn't that neat when you have like that click? So like when I first started doing readings for other people, it was neat because it's so funny, the readings that I've done, at least my experience, so I want to hear yours.
Yes.
But the ones that are like the hardest, the ones that you're like walking away going, God, I hope I did that right. Those always seem to be the ones that like nailed it on key. I mean, they're on point. You're like, God, they must have been really fucked up.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding. But it's funny how you're not in control of it. You have to go with where, their guides are telling you to go. And it's kind of like when, I've come across some people that were really down on their luck and having a hard time in life, approaching the conversation of, whether they want to stay alive or unalive themselves. Sometimes your guides are telling you to go in gently and talk them off the cliff, and then there's been times your guides are like going to shove it right up your butt.
Yep.
And
I call that the bitch slap.
Oh man, they're a little rough, and you have to really trust the way they're wanting you to present that information.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the ones that I was like, are you guys sure? Because I don't know about this shit. Like, I'm not okay with this. But that's when I remind people, I'm just the messenger. It's not me.
Yeah.
But they will get downright like challenging
in their face. Yeah.
I had a lady that I'd done reading for, and this was kind of back in the beginning stages of when I was first doing readings, and she was literally starving herself to death.
Oh my.
And she was in a toxic relationship and was going through some really rough times. And it was funny because her guides, like, they challenge her. They're like, if you're gonna do it, let's get her over with. Like, if you're gonna, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm like,
right.
So it was so funny because She ended up walking away, and she was so mad at me. She was so mad that she, for 2 years, like, hated me, like, was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, yeah. But you know what? She pulled her head out of her butt, and she's still alive, and she is the most amazing person I've ever met.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like 2 years after that, she's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have done that, I would have kept going, and I wouldn't be alive. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of know.
Yeah.
Kind of know. And she was mean, but it was great because she needed challenge.
She needed to hear it.
Challenge.
Yeah.
She needed to hear it. She needed to be called on it.
Yep.
And you know, it can create that like uncomfortable feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But have you had an experience like that yet?
Yes, and I when I start getting messages like that, I always say, remember, this is not me talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't shoot the messenger. This is not me.
Yes.
But yes, I have had to get in people's faces before. And when I get messages, they'll keep at me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I got to tell you this again. They're being serious about this. And so you have to I have to keep saying, and the spirit they won't let it go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'll continue to pick at you.
and send the message home over and over and over again.
So yes, I have had those experiences.
So when you got done and all settled after Stonehenge, what was your first dream that happened? We're going to talk about dreams here. So.
Yes. So while I was there, I purchased a couple of stone bracelets. I have this one on again. This is the blue stone, which is the inner stones of Stonehenge. It's the smaller stones that are inside the big ones. And then the outer stones, that's Sasan. And I have one of those bracelets as well, but I love to wear my crystals. And I put it on when I got it. And I go home and I'm dreaming and I don't remember my dreams typically. Yep. I just don't. And people are like, how do you not? I just don't. And for a few days after, I had these very vivid wild dreams. And one of them, I'm pretty sure I was lucid dreaming because I was outside watching and it was kind of a scary dream. And it kept repeating and looping itself.
Okay, so those kind of dreams are really important to pay attention to.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So did you notice, was it night or day in that dream?
It was nighttime.
Oh, all right. Keep on going. All right, I want to hear the dream.
So it was nighttime, and I don't remember a lot of details, but my dad was with me. Okay. And I was having this reoccurring scary dream. It seems like
so your dad was with you because that's the part of you that was there to protect and comfort.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Because I was being chased.
Yep.
Chased. So something was trying to get me.
If you have something chasing you, that is... I mean, it can get more in detail. So, like, if it was an animal chasing you or a robber chasing you or something. But usually, if you're running from something, there's something going on in your life that you need a little bit of comfort, a little bit of kind of cheering on. But you're afraid to turn around and face it. So you've been running from a part of or whatever this might be. So sometimes when people have that dream, so let's say you're not wanting to really look at a relationship that you're in.
Okay.
And it's just getting worse and worse. And you're just not wanting to face that fact. You'll have dreams that come in that will chase you.
Okay.
Right? You'll have someone chasing you. And or if you get, shot and killed, that is because you're at that point where you can't turn it around. So if you're not going to turn around and face whatever this fear is, then if you, let's say that shot and killed you, caught you or shot and killed you, that's when that would be the situation that you should have faced it's now too far gone. To where now it's just about letting it go and moving on from it.
Okay, because...
So if it was a relationship that you were in that was a toxic relationship and you weren't facing what was making it toxic and trying to address it, then if you had gotten captured or killed by it, that means that relationship is no longer able to be repaired.
Okay.
And you just are gonna have to. It's
You
gonna
just
end.
move on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna end, and
Okay.
it's gonna let it go. Or it can be a death of the old you.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
kind of.
absolutely.
I
It
think.
can be the death of the old you, or
Uh-huh.
death of a situation.
I've read about
right?
that before.
And so it's one of those things where even though you might have been running from something you've
Uh-huh.
been fearing, you're now owning that.
Okay.
And it's now changing your life, so it's no longer a fear that you need to run from.
I think it was probably the death of the old me because
Yep.
I didn't know what was chasing me.
Exactly.
I had no idea. Like, I didn't see any picture of what was trying to get me, but it kept coming back and it kept looping and looping and looping.
Because
And
this is something that's been happening in your life over and over and over again.
oh,
So whatever this fear was, or
Uh-huh.
whatever this situation was that you didn't want to
Mhm.
face, you're now strong enough and owning the new you to face it. So it's no longer relevant. So
Okay.
whatever this issue was, you've addressed it.
okay. Because it kept looping, and I literally said, because I'm watching, and I literally said, I don't want to have this dream anymore.
Yep.
And it stopped.
Yep.
And then I finally, I guess,
So that could even
dreaming.
be with you saying that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be it was a dream of yours that
Uh-huh.
you were kind of like how some people dream to be famous,
Uh-huh.
but they're also so afraid of being famous,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so that old you and those old fears of it,
Uh-huh.
you finally addressed. And so now you're like, that dream is no longer relevant for me in my life. So now
Okay.
I've changed the dream I want.
Awesome. Well, awesome.
So that's a good dream. That
that's
means it's the ending of that old era, that old you.
awesome.
And
I
you're
love that.
embracing, which goes along with what's happening planetarily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That's crazy because, yeah, it scared me to death. And my husband even told me I was like talking in my sleep. Like, run! Like saying weird stuff.
I do
And-
that. I talk in my sleep. I do that.
He's like, I told him in the morning, I'm like, I had this crazy dream. It's like, you were saying weird, scary stuff. And he's like, I almost woke you up. And then you stopped.
Do a
But
little
anyway.
possession, a little sing. Holy
Yeah.
water on you. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was the big one that I really remember. But I had a couple more. And then I took my bracelet off and I had some other crystals on. And then I put my bracelet back on a couple days ago. And I've had another one. And I was going to write it down because they say when you wake up, write your stuff down,
Yes.
right? But
Yeah.
now I can't remember what I was dreaming. But it wasn't a scary one.
A lot of times, if you're not remembering your dream, you're
Uh-huh.
either really busy in your life. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that your mind doesn't really have enough, capacity to kind of hold on.
Right.
It's it's not relevant,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
the reason why you remembered that scary dream
Uh-huh.
was because that was a relevant situation in your life. So that was letting you
Okay.
know, hey, you let this go. Like, you're good.
That's awesome.
And so it's telling you you're where you need to be in your life. And this is just like a whole new you, whole new path.
Good,
So
good.
the other reason why you won't remember your dreams is because you are on the right path. So
Really?
oh yeah, absolutely. Dreams
Wow.
are meant to come in to give you some clarity in a situation or confirm you're on, like, dreams that are kind of a deja vu. Like, let's say you
Yes.
dream of a certain license plate number and all of a
Yes.
sudden the next day you see it, or you dream
Uh-huh.
of a certain color and all of a sudden you see it. That's happening because you put in your chart to give you that experience so that you know you're on the right path.
Well, remember I told you the other day, I don't know, a few weeks ago, that I had deja vu with you.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I
see,
did.
A lot of people are having deja vu right now because of the shift we're going through.
Uh-huh.
And it's a hard shift.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's going to be worth it, but it's a
Yeah.
hard shift. But a lot of us are having that deja vu because it's us putting that in our path so that we know, hey, we're okay. And then 10 more feet, we're like, you're still okay.
Yeah,
10 more
keep
feet, you're
going.
still okay. But yeah, that is really fascinating. That is
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah,
Neat.
that makes me feel better because that something so scary and creepy could be a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Well, in your situation, it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if it was a situation where
True.
I mean, because you finally turned around, said it, say, I don't want this dream no more.
No.
You stood up for you and said, this situation is no longer relevant for
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And literally the I don't want this dream no more means that whatever that old dream you had, you outgrew. So you no longer want that dream.
No, I didn't.
And so you're stopping it in its tracks. A lot of people will have these kind of dreams when they're pregnant. And a lot of that's because I'm going to hear about yours. But a lot of that's because your vibration is raised, because you are having a being kind of coming in and out. And so it does make you more connected to the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get real psychic sensitive when you're pregnant. But let's hear about yours, Chelsea.
So I don't really remember because it was a while ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But I had a dream that I was pregnant, and
That's a good dream.
it came out stillborn. So I don't know.
Okay, so if you dream that you're pregnant, so were you pregnant at the time?
No, this was recently.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Even
no.
better. So let's say that you had that dream and you were pregnant. A lot of that's just your fear, you kind of working out. So it's a fear of, is my baby okay? I mean, we fret over that shit.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure.
And so that is just kind of working out your fear in your dream, which a lot of us do.
Yeah.
But when you dream you're pregnant before, like you're pregnant, right? That is saying that you're starting to form an idea.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so like birth to your dream. Does that make sense? You form an idea.
Wow.
And there's a part of you that just feels like it's never going to make it.
Is that the
The
stillborn?
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just always stuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
You got to start. And sweetie, I hate to say that you're normal, because I wouldn't dare insult you like that. But you're kind of normal. A lot of people right now are kind of feeling like they're stuck. And it's not that we're stuck. It's just that we're doing this massive shift and transformation.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our old ways of being, what our soul purpose was or what we wanted to experience and things like that, that's all come to an end. So now here we are, a blank slate. I mean, no deans, no dance, not even a smudge mark kind of thing, right? We're showroom floor ready. And we still have to learn to walk, talk, speak, the whole 9 things
Start over
again,
Yeah.
because we're in this new energy,
Yeah.
right? And so that is a death that they owed you.
Yeah.
And it is shedding that, and it is sad, and it is hard, and it is scary. But I'm telling you, man, when you really own where you want to go and you make that decision, so your dream is trying to tell you, you've got to start making some decisions. You've got to give yourself enough credit that it is possible for you to carry that birth to your dream.
Okay.
Okay, it is
yeah.
possible for your dream to come true. It is possible
It's
for
there.
your dream to be alive. Your dream's there,
Yeah.
right? You're there,
Yeah.
but you're so afraid it's going to end that you're not making decisions, so you're feeling stuck.
Yeah.
You got to start making decisions. Whether you get to that point and you change your mind, that's fine. But stay focused on it until you know if that's something that's going to work for you
sure.
or not.
Yeah.
Make sure at least it gives you direction. That's what everybody's guides are really pounding home. Get that target, so to speak, on paper. See it multiple times a day. Focus on that and go for it, and you'll make it happen. It's more than possible.
Okay.
It's insanely more than possible. But you've got to stick to that target. Once you get to the target, if that's not getting your soul to
Then you
sing,
shoot for another
Right.
one.
change your mind. But go for the target. Go for it, because we do have to rediscover what makes our soul sing. What you
Yeah,
gotta get
yeah.
the girl dick hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what makes that happen?
And
Okay.
that kind of goes into with your intentions. Like, set the intention every day and visualize
Yes.
your dream and the whole manifesting and all
You know
that
how
stuff.
visualization works? We are a visualize, like
Yeah.
we visualize. We are
Yeah.
very, very visual creatures,
Yep.
right? And so if you can see it, you don't fight your guides so much on how to bring it in. So if you can visually see what you're
Yes.
wanting and just not give a flying fuck how you get there,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You'll get there
Exactly.
real quick because
Yeah.
you're not going to fight your guides on bringing it in.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to control how they bring it in, when they bring it in, they're just going to laugh at you and be like, oh, aren't you
That's
cute?
my problem.
And
Yeah.
it's never gonna come. Or you might bring something
You'll
in that
just
you don't
sabotage
want.
yourself with
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you will. Yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
so
I totally
true.
see that.
Anything you give energy to brings it alive.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or ugly.
Yep.
Anything. So when you hyper focus on what you don't want,
It
you're
brings it.
giving it energy. You're literally
Yep.
creating exactly what you don't want. And the sad part is most of us do that. We focus on what we don't want,
Yeah.
and we don't give enough focus on what we want.
Yep. And you can't worry about how you're gonna get it.
No, don't give a shit.
No.
As long as you get to the same lake, who cares?
Right? How you get
know?
there. Who cares what the journey is or how you get there?
But it will be fun. I wonder how many other people would like to join our club and talk
Yes.
about their dreams, and
That would be amazing.
let it be analyzed. You know, people, places, and things represent who you, a
Uh-huh.
part of you, a piece of you. They represent you. If you're having an actual spirit dream, so let's say your sister who's passed away
Yes.
comes in and you have a dream about her, but it's more of a telepathy dream,
Uh-huh.
right? That is an actual visit.
Yes.
If you're
Yeah.
or if you have a dream, a lot of times when you have someone that you love that passed on, you have a dream that you're flying with them.
Uh-huh.
That's an actual visit. But if you have a dream where you're having a conversation, and let's say your sister's like, Lori, honey,
Yeah.
you need to turn left. Like,
Right.
seriously. Like, this is a bad time. You're gonna end up where I'm at. You need to turn left.
Right.
That is your guide's way of saying, because it would be someone you'd listen to.
Yeah.
So it's
Familiar,
your guide,
right? Mhm.
your guide's way of saying, hey, you need to listen to
Uh-huh.
that inner voice of yours because you're going too far in this direction that's not going to work for you.
And she has come to me in my dreams when soon after she passed, and she was in the forefront and the background wasn't really there.
Yeah.
You know, so I know
That's
definitely.
definitely
yeah,
a visit.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you have a visit dream, you won't see the background.
Yeah.
You know, you might see a couch or a window, but you're not going to really see a detailed
Uh-huh.
background.
Yeah.
The background's kind of like a green screen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
just blank.
it might be there, but you're not really seeing it for what it is, and that's not going to be your focus either.
Yeah.
You know, when I had went through my death space and I had my experience with my sister,
Uh-huh.
me and her were riding horses that had passed away,
Okay.
and her dog that I loved, he was there, and I remember seeing the flowers. The colors were so vibrant, it was insane.
Yes.
And the flowers, every time they swayed, it was almost like they were like singing, like a really angelical music kind of tone was coming on.
Wow.
And me and her were laughing and we were talking, but she definitely it wasn't, the lips weren't moving.
Yeah.
And we're having a great time like we used to. And she looked at me because we were in the middle of this like field, but on one side there was the forest and the other side we'd come up this hill.
Uh-huh.
And so we were in this meadow. And after a while, she looked at me and she says, hey, what do you want to do? And she goes, do you want to go with me into this forest, or what do you want to do? Right? Or she goes, or do you want to turn around and go back? And the minute she said that,
Uh-huh.
everybody I loved flashed through my mind, which in the moment of it, it
Yeah.
wasn't like I even remembered that life. Like I felt more alive there than I ever have here.
Yes.
And when that happened, I got kind of scared and I'm like, I have to go back. And the minute I turned my horse around, I was back in my body in the hospital.
And you made that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So then when I
Wow.
had my second death experience, I was having a meltdown. Like I was having a fit. I was so mad at the doctors, mad at the situation, mad
Right.
at God. You know how you go through all that.
Yeah.
I was having a little meltdown. And the next thing I know, I'm walking on like it was all white, like a very illuminating light, and it didn't hurt your eyes, like lighter than these damn lights here.
Yeah.
And you could see the silhouette, and it was golden like the sun, but it had like these prism colors, like every color you could possibly think of, but it was almost like in unison. It was the neatest thing. And you didn't guess it was God, like you knew it was God. I mean, like it was like, oh shit, you know. And the love, man, there ain't nothing like it.
Really?
The love is so endless. We don't, I mean, even my
We don't
most,
even know.
not even how much
Excuse
you
me.
love your kids or grandkids or animals, like that is nothing compared to what's
Wow.
on the other side. And the way that he couldn't think of one thing I'd done wrong, and I'm like going through it. I'm like, remember what I did? You know? And I was like walking up to him, and he laughed at me, and he's like, sweetheart, he said, you've had a long journey, haven't you? And I said, yes, I have. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'm so proud of myself because it's right in front of him. I'm like, I want to effing stay here with you.
Right?
And he's like, before you make that decision, can I show you something?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah. So the next thing I know, we're like it was dark like the sky.
Yes.
But I'm seeing millions, and I mean millions of stars like shooting. And I noticed as I focused on each one,
Uh-huh.
I could see the person, and I could hear the prayer that they were saying for me.
Ooh,
I mean,
chills
literally
again.
word for word. And
Wow.
I'm like watching this, and it felt like it was like forever. Like I'm watching this, and I was so in awe.
Because they just kept going.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
It was
wow.
endless. And I said I didn't know I was that important.
Yeah.
And he kind of laughed. He was like, "Oh, sweetheart, don't you understand how important you are? Oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry."
Right.
And I said, "No, I don't." And he's like, "Look."
These
And
are
it
all
was
the
like, it
people.
was so amazing. And he says, "I got to ask you though, what do you want to do?" And I said, I want to stay with you, but I can't let these people down. I got to go back. And he said the exact words my sister said, "I knew you'd make the right decision." And bam, I was back in my
You're
body.
fine.
And I'm not kidding you, within 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
I went from complete organ failure to everything rejuvenated and worked. I mean, the doctors were like, "We have never
Wow.
seen
I remember
anything
when
like
you went
this."
through
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it was the most amazing experience for me because it did not go the way I thought it would. I'd be like, I always had dreamed that like we weren't going to be sitting on the beach, and I'd be like, "God, spiders, really? You know, what were you thinking on that?" You know? Yeah, it didn't go that way. Not even a little bit.
So funny.
It was the most amazing experience for
That's-
real.
Wow.
But
so
it was,
cool.
you know, dreams are kind of a form of that.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a dream like with a police officer or someone in authority,
Mhm.
you know, there's that bigger part of you that's saying, "Hey, you're being reckless.
Okay.
You're being reckless.
That's-
What,
So
what
pay
are you doing?
attention,
You need to pay
people.
attention. You're being
Yeah.
reckless." You know, you have a dream, natural disaster dreams, those are big time warning dreams. You have a natural disaster dream, like I know my world's getting ready to go to hell.
Watch
When I
out.
have a tornado dream,
I get those all the time.
tornado dreams. Oh, I
Oh,
hate
dang.
them. No, and that's probably because your life's not. You haven't really made a decision on how you're wanting to bring your life
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
or you're going to be forced, and I mean forced. It ain't optional to make those decisions. So
Yeah.
you're waiting
Yeah.
until it becomes such a disaster.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
I
Yeah,
haven't had any recently.
That's a
so-
good
That's
thing.
good.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing. Yeah. When I had a dream when my mom was dying, I had a dream that we were at her house, and she lived in the middle of nowhere. And the first tornado, she was sitting in this rocking chair by a tree, and the first tornado hit, and it tore the roof up a little bit on her house, you know, kind of the shingles.
Yeah.
But it went by. It wasn't very big. And then the second one that came in, you know, did more damage. It took the house. But the third one took the tree, her, and the rocking chair.
Yeah.
That took off.
Wow.
And so it was right before my mom started getting really sick. And then she got way sick. So after a little bit, she got really sick. And then eventually she ended up dying.
Passed. Yeah.
So those are dreams that like Yeah, I pay attention to,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all my friends that know me, I call them up. I had it. I'm gonna die. I know it's so horrible. I mean, like every time you watch me melt down, because I will. I hate that. But tsunami dreams. So if you dream about like the ocean or
Uh-huh.
a big wave or a tsunami hit you, the tsunami is saying you've got an emotional
Yeah.
overload coming on
Mhm.
that you better start working on immediately, or you're going to be taken out. If you're having a dream of like a swimming pool, or you have a dream of a lake and you just see in the lake, it's you avoiding or needing
Oh.
to face something that's emotional
What
What if
about
you're in the water?
in the water. So that means you're in the thick of the emotional.
Oh,
Mm, okay.
okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
What about astral travel?
Astral projections?
Yes, 'cause
those are neat.
I do have those dreams that I'm flying.
Yeah. So
Like, I
flying
can just
dreams
stand-
are
And you're going like this with your arms.
I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. I literally can do this with my arms, and it picks
done-
me up,
yeah.
and I'm up and flying around the
Yep,
universe.
those are your soul actually leaving your body.
Oh,
Those are real. I had
And you feel
an
so
experience.
free.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and that's how the other side is too.
Yeah.
You are so free, so much like you can't do any wrong. Like it is insane. But yeah, those are actually you disconnecting from your body.
Wow.
The first time I experienced that, and I was probably about 9 or 10 years of age, and I remember getting up, and because I was thirsty,
Yes.
and I get up, and I look back at my bed, and I'm seeing this body in there, and I didn't recognize it. Right? Like I'm like, what the hell?
Who's in my bed?
Right? But it didn't like occur to me to even worry about it. Right?
Right,
It wasn't like
yeah.
oh shit, straight. No, it was like whatever.
Yeah.
And I walked down the hallway, and I went to go flip the light switch on, and my
And
head
it-
kept going through the light switch. Okay, still, I'm a blonde. Okay, it was just a blonde moment. Still, they didn't register.
Yeah.
Oh shit, something might be wrong. Until I went to go get the glass of water.
And then
So I get to the sink. I go to try and turn the faucet on,
and it's not.
and it will not go
Oh
on.
my
And I went,
gosh.
oh shit, I'm dead. And I was bam, right back in my body. My body literally jumped off the bed. And I
Really?
jumped
Oh
back
my
onto the floor. Yeah, it was awesome. It was so fun. But I mean, it was scary at the time.
thought
But yeah,
you were,
yeah,
you
but
thought you
no.
were dead, but
yeah, I thought I was dead, but I didn't. I just woke up dead.
I love those astral travel dreams.
Oh, aren't they freeing?
Yes.
They're so free. A lot of times we do that. Most of the time we do that. And a lot of times we don't remember we're doing that. So like when you wake up and you've had like, we'll say a good night sleep,
Right.
but you cannot get like refreshed, it's because you're leaving your body.
Because I've been going all
You're
over the
leaving
place.
Your body, you left on the charger, but you forgot to plug in the cord. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're out. You're out.
That's so funny. Yeah, I love it when and I would kind of ask myself like, I can really fly, like kind of not believing that I was flying,
Oh,
but
yeah.
and I would love just
When you-
flapping my arms.
When you watch other people's videos or read other people's death experiences,
Yeah.
they come out of their body, and like one guy, he had seen his body crumpled up on the road. He'd gotten in a
Oh my
crash,
gosh.
and his body, he was ejected, and he was looking at his body, and he didn't know it was him until one of the paramedics or someone in the group said his name.
Uh-huh.
And then he knew it was him. Well, the minute he thought, because he thought about his grandma, so he went, the minute that he thought about his grandma, he was boom right at her house. And was
Oh.
looking through the window trying to go in. And then, so yeah, a lot of times when you do pass away, you'll float above your body for quite some time.
I've heard
And
that. Read
you'll
stories.
go and wherever you think you want to go,
Uh-huh.
you get to go.
You just
if
poof.
you do. And flying is a number one that
Uh-huh.
most of us do when we disconnect from our body.
That's
Whether
that's
it's through
crazy.
because you died, which
Yeah.
is a bad time,
Yeah.
or it's because you need a break from the reality.
Okay.
And you just, what we think is a reality.
Right,
Which I'm
right.
telling you, when you're on the other side, this is like a movie.
Nothing.
It is,
Yeah.
this ain't shit. This
Right.
is nothing. The other side, you are, that's where you know you're alive.
Yeah.
It's the craziest, most amazing, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've read books that talk about that and how amazing and beautiful and
That's so
we're
interesting.
we're in hell right now.
We
on
we
Earth.
really are. We're on the one of the lowest vibrations
Mm-hmm.
planet. That's why very evolved beings don't normally come down here.
They don't
And
want to.
Well, they're too damn smart to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they've already learned all the yings,
Yeah.
right? And why you don't want to do the yang.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because here is where we evolve with our knowledge, with our experience,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we kind of create buddy systems before we come down. We're like, hey, Lori, I need you at this time in my life because I
Right.
already know I'm going to do a hard time.
We pick our people, right?
We do. We
Yeah,
pick
we
right
pick
down
our
to our
people.
enemy.
Yeah.
Right down to our enemy. And a lot of times we'll get, if there's anything karmatic, which I don't really think, my opinion on karmatic stuff, you really usually get the karma you put out
Oh, yeah.
while you're here.
Right.
Yeah.
It normally isn't something you do from a past life.
Yeah.
The only time you'll chart that in your chart
Uh-huh.
is if you didn't learn everything you wanted to learn from it, or if you wanted to experience it and do it better.
Okay,
Okay.
so a do-over.
Yeah. And so it's not
sense.
because it's chasing you, right? It's not because you didn't, learn from it's because we are perfectionists on the other side. We're like, oh shit, we could have done that better.
Let me
I
go
wanna,
back.
redo. I'm telling you, I think we get as high and drunk as fuck. Because I just know I wouldn't have charted my life like this.
Right?
You're like,
So
what?
no, you
What
do,
were you
because
thinking?
you have to learn how to embrace and why the good is so important.
Yeah.
And you can't appreciate that if you don't experience why it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So you go through many lifetimes trying every character you can think of, right? And once you kind of get to that point where you've experienced enough, a lot of times we'll come down and have kind of like our final exam. We'll have all the situations as once, which is why a lot of us will on our last lifetime on the lower vibration, we'll have one hell of an active, like very fulfilling life, but holy shit hard, you know what I mean? It's because we're graduating.
Yeah.
And so you don't get a lot of them that's graduated, that's volunteering to come down.
Right.
But we do have some, and they're the ones that help us to undo the damage we done did.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Do you
makes
think
sense.
like more people that are in tune with their spiritual side are more likely to not come back again and again?
No, that when you're really in tune with your spiritual side, which all of us have that ability. All of us,
Right.
if you learn to listen to it, it's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, and you want to like keep falling in the fear, a lot of times that's because you're a younger soul, or you don't want to have that clarity, like a really strong intuitive side, because you really want to experience the full situation. So let's say you needed to experience that full situation of a heartbreak. And so you're going to dampen, like kind of turn the volume down on that intuitive side, right?
Okay.
While you go through that experience. And then when you're done with the experience, you kind of turn the volume up. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of times that's what we do.
Okay.
So that you can really fully grasp the whole ins, outs, upside downs, and backwards with it.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
But most of us that are like very like we hold on and really learn and to listen to our intuitive side. It's because we've been in that fight or flight mode. So it's not necessarily because you had the easiest life. It's because you went through some shit, right? And you had to, or else you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And so, as far as being more intuitive than most, that's, your guides will work with you, I promise, the way you'll listen best.
Yes.
So if that's through dreams, they're going to give it to you through dreams. If that's through vision, they're going to give it to you through vision. If that's through audio, they'll do that, or intuitive, they'll do that. They'll use all the senses, right?
Okay.
And you just have to learn how to trust it. That's the biggest hurdle.
The biggest, yes.
If you learn to trust
for
it,
sure.
man, you're good to go. But a lot of newbie souls that are really trying to learn, they don't really turn the volume up much
Yeah.
on the intuitive part, right? Where they want to really experience the full thing. But They're also ones that don't normally have like a really heavy life, right?
Okay.
And so, like animals, a lot of times we come down a few lives as an animal,
Oh,
which is why animals are so spiritually like connected,
yeah.
because we don't want to be here that long. Like it takes a minute for our bodies to acclimate.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, I'm gonna be a dog in only 7 years. Or you got
That's
me,
the
you got me,
limit.
you like get me out, right? Get me out of your button. But once we kind of go, all right, now we think we might be ready for the real dealio. That's when we'll come as a human.
Okay.
And that's when we start our full experiences, and you can chart in your chart a great life. And let's say you just want to experience the love, but you've got to experience every kind of love there is, good, bads, uglies, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's some of us that are like, I want a bit of everything because I want to get this over with. So we do that.
Give it all to me all at once.
Absolutely. So it just kind of depends on what your life adventure is that you chose you want to do,
Yeah.
and what lessons you wanted to learn the most, and
Okay.
also what you wanted to leave behind, like what mark you wanted to leave behind.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Well, time goes by so
Yes,
fast
it
while
does.
we're having fun, right? Just checking the clock. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us. And please go on the socials and comment, or ask a question, or the website howdoyouspirit.com. We want to hear from you. We
Come to our lives.
yes, come to our lives, and we want to talk about.
Every topic there is.
Yes,
Good,
yes.
bad, whatever.
Yep, and Taco and I were talkering.
I love that. We're going to start using that. Can I talk with you?
We were talking earlier about doing an animal episode, and I think that
Yep.
would be real fun. So
That would
stay
be fun.
tuned
We
for
could
that
do little
one.
readings on animals.
Yes,
And tell you what your animals are going through and doing, and
Yes,
what they think of you, which could be good or bad.
Right.
You never know.
they might just hate your guts.
They might. They might.
And I feel like too, animals are a very integral part of us growing, as well as humans, and spiritually and everything. So
Yes.
we're going to bring that one on soon, and hopefully weekly. We're going to try to get this going weekly. And anyway, thank you so much for taking time to watch our video. And again, reach out to us with questions on any of the social platforms, and we will see you soon.
Bye.